The rights most Americans don't know they have. Introduction, USA. What if I told you that millions of Americans have constitutional rights they rarely use or don't even know they have? Some of these rights can protect you from government overreach, unlawful searches, forced speech, and even self-incrimination. Today, we're exploring some of the most powerful rights in the U.S. Constitution that most Americans don't fully understand. By the end of this video, you'll know rights that could protect you in real-life situations. Let's begin. The First Amendment. The First Amendment is often called the most important amendment in the Bill of Rights. It protects 5 major freedoms: freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press, freedom of assembly, and freedom to petition the government. Most Americans know they can speak freely. However, many don't realize how broad these protections really are. Freedom of speech. The government generally cannot punish you simply because it disagrees with your opinion. Whether you support a political party, criticize government officials, or express unpopular views, the First Amendment usually protects that speech. However, there are limits. Threats, certain forms of harassment, and direct incitement to immediate violence are generally not protected. Real-life example. Imagine someone publicly criticizes a government policy on social media. Many people assume they could be arrested. In most cases, that's not true. The First Amendment protects criticism of government officials and policies. This protection is one of the foundations of American democracy. Freedom of religion. Americans have the right to practice their religion or not practice any religion at all. The government cannot establish an official national religion. This means people are free to worship according to their beliefs. Freedom of assembly. Many Americans don't realize they have the constitutional right to gather peacefully and protest. Throughout American history, peaceful protests have helped create major social and political change. The Fourth Amendment. Now let's talk about one of the most misunderstood rights in America. The Fourth Amendment protects citizens from unreasonable searches and seizures. Simply put, the government generally cannot search your home, property, or personal belongings without legal justification. What is a search warrant? A search warrant is a document signed by a judge. It authorizes law enforcement to search a specific place for evidence of a crime. To get a warrant, officers usually must show probable cause. Probable cause means there is a reasonable basis to believe evidence of a crime exists. Real-life example. Imagine police officers arrive at your home and ask to come inside. Many Americans believe they must automatically allow entry. Unless officers have a warrant, consent, or certain emergency circumstances, you generally have the right to refuse entry. Knowing this right is important. Digital privacy. The Fourth Amendment also applies to many modern technologies. Cell phones contain enormous amounts of personal information. The U.S. Supreme Court has recognized that searching a person's phone often requires a warrant. This is a major protection in the digital age. The Fifth Amendment. The Fifth Amendment contains some of the most powerful legal protections in the Constitution. One of its most famous protections is the right against self-incrimination. You may have heard the phrase, "I plead the Fifth." This comes directly from the Fifth Amendment. Right to remain silent. The government cannot force a person to testify against themselves in a criminal case. This right exists to prevent coercion and false confessions. Many legal experts advise people to remain calm and request legal counsel before answering potentially incriminating questions. Real-life example. Suppose someone is arrested and questioned about a crime. That person has the constitutional right to remain silent. They do not have to answer questions that may be used against them. This right protects innocent people as well as the accused. Double jeopardy. Another little-known Fifth Amendment protection is called double jeopardy. This means a person generally cannot be tried twice for the same offense after being acquitted. The government does not get unlimited opportunities to prosecute someone repeatedly. Due process. The Fifth Amendment also guarantees due process. The government must follow fair legal procedures before taking away someone's life, liberty, or property. This protection affects countless legal situations across America. Why these rights matter today? Many people assume constitutional rights only matter in courtrooms. In reality, they affect daily life. Every time someone expresses an opinion, attends a peaceful protest, practices a religion, protects personal privacy, or exercises the right to remain silent, constitutional rights are being used. These protections exist to preserve individual freedom and limit government power. The Constitution was designed not only to create government but also to place limits on government authority. Common misconceptions. Let's clear up some myths. Freedom of speech does not mean freedom from criticism. The Fourth Amendment does not prevent all searches. The Fifth Amendment does not mean someone is guilty. Constitutional rights apply in specific legal contexts and often involve complex court decisions. Understanding the law helps people exercise their rights responsibly. Conclusion. The First Amendment protects your voice. The Fourth Amendment protects your privacy. The Fifth Amendment protects your liberty. Together, these rights form some of the strongest protections for individual freedom anywhere in the world. Yet many Americans never fully understand or use them. Knowing your rights is one of the best ways to protect yourself and participate in a free society. So here's a question for you. Which constitutional right do you think is the most important? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos about U.S. law, constitutional amendments, and American history.